This is a tutorial for tubular cast on method in the round. So you're going to take your yarn with the long tail on the side, hold it with your 3 fingers going around the forefinger, your thumb, and back to the 3 fingers. Take your needle and turn your hand so the palm is facing away from you, and grab the yarn like this, twisting it down and grabbing the yarn for stitch number 1. Stitch number 2 is going to start at the top, so the direction the needle is going is away from you and to the right. So from top to bottom, right to left. So we're going to go top to bottom, right to left, through the center, and you're going to grab the bottom one now, top to bottom, right to left, but don't go through the center. You're going to go around, and that's stitch number 2. Stitch number 3 will start at the bottom. Again, you start top to bottom or away from you, right to left, through the center. The first one is through the center, and now we're going to grab the top yarn away from you, or top to bottom, right to left, and not through the center but all the way around. So that is stitch number 3. Now we're going to keep continuing, grabbing the top to bottom, right to left, through the center for the first, and then top to bottom, right to left, all the way around to grab the stitch. Top to bottom, right to left, the bottom strand coming towards the center, top to bottom, right to left, oh, not through the center, all the way around. So you just keep going that way. Sort of creating a figure 8. And then you'll notice that every 2 stitches it creates this V, except for the first one. The first one does not have a partner. So it's easy to count stitches that way. You just count the V's, not forgetting to count the first one. So this will be 3, 5, 7, 9, or I like to count 2, 4, 6, 8, and then remember to count one more. So you keep going until your desired stitch number of stitches. So if you, for some reason, lost hold of your yarns or don't really remember which stitch or direction you're supposed to do, remember that the right side of the V pair is the one where you went top first and then bottom next. The left part of this V pair is where you go bottom first and then the top. So because this is a fully formed V pair, the next stitch will be grabbing from the top first, bottom, and then all the way around. Bottom, top, and it creates another V pair. So the tubular cast on is usually worked for a 1x1 rib, which means most often it is a even number of stitches to be casted on. So right now it ends with the V pair, but remember the first stitch had was just a single stitch without the V. So we're going to do one more stitch, and then this will be an even number of stitches. So now if you are working this on the flat, you can just turn the work the wrong side, turn it back, work the right side, and keep going. But this is for doing this in the round, and instead of joining in the round right away, it's pretty hard to tell which direction the stitches are supposed to be. It's all twisted and turned. So what we're going to do is turn the work, And you can either tie this end, you can just tie like this to work the next stitch, or I just like to twist it a couple times. So 1, 2, and make sure to work with the long yarn, not the end. And the first stitch is knit through the back loop. So not the stitch, not the leg in the front, but through the back. We're going to knit 1. And with yarn in front, you're going to slip the next one as if to purl. Bring the yarn back, knit through the back loop, and continue those 2 stitches, slip with yarn in front, and continue until the end. So you can already tell that this looks like a knit stitch, so you're knitting through the back loop, and the next stitch looks like a purl stitch, so you're going to slip with yarn in front. So now that you did 1 row on flat, you can now join in the round. Go ahead and grab both ends of the needle together, and now you can sort of run your hand through the stitches. Make sure nothing is twisted, everything is facing the right side. Yep, looks good. So the first stitch is a knit stitch, and make sure you use the correct end. Knit the first and purl the second, and you just keep going, knit and purl in the round. And at the end, if you want to close a little gap, there's a tiny bit of gap between the first stitch and where the join occurred. So you can take your darning needle and grab the end yarn and just sort of sew it through to close the gap. But it's actually not bad. It's not that bad. There is a little bit of gap, so you can sew it closed like that. Yeah, so you get a nice clean edge for your 1x1 rib, and your stitches are not twisted. And that's how I do the tubular cast on in the round.